What's up, guys? It's me, LC, with you on this Sunday afternoon. It's an amazing Sunday afternoon. Hard to believe that we are in the midst of a hurricane warning watch. I mean, we're getting ready to have this storm, and so it's really hard to believe. But you know what? Life changes just like that. Just like that. Recovery's taught me that much for sure. So, I hope everybody is enjoying this Sunday. I'm solo today. Our good friend Bradley Bagwell had some things come up and really just needed a weekend. And a lot of times when we feel the need or feel that, we need to go with that. That's called self-care. And every time we're doing it, and however big the measure is, that's progress and that's growth. And, that's something I support wholeheartedly. So I don't mind being here with you solo today. Sometimes we got to remember where we started this thing. And, sometimes we have to accept that things are the way they are. And you know what? I love spending time with you guys just one-on-one. That's cool with me. That's cool with me. So today we're going to go I'm just going to open up, go just by the spirit on this thing. I've got some things on my mind, some things I've been going through this past week. And so I'll share those with you, some of the trials, some of the successes, some of the failures, and some of the great and amazing tools that I put to work this week in my own life. So hopefully you can take it and do something with it in your life. Y'all, if you feel led, please give us a share out. I do appreciate you. Can't do this without you. If you happen to watch the replay, leave that down in the comments and know that I just appreciate you being here and for this support. It's amazing. We are live on Lona Curry at Facebook.com and Recovery Soul Food on YouTube. So wherever you are, thank you. Hit the like, subscribe button, get the bell notification so you know when we put videos up. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Welcome to Recovery Soul Food. I am LC. This is Soul Food Sunday service. It is an impromptu service, and this is just what we're going to do. I've been going through some things this week, and I like being able to take the time to share that with you because I'm so limited in the mornings that I really want to pump you up and give you some quick do's, to really try to make your day better. But I don't often get to share with you the things that I grow through during the week and some of the places that I've struggled and how and what I've done to move past them, because you can best to know this. I love to learn. I love to grow. And I am never wanting to waste any pain, struggle, or anything. I want to take it and really learn from it and know how I can grow better, how I can do better, and know that I am worth that, and know that that's awesome and amazing, that is actually success, that it is a myth that success or recovery or healing means that we don't go through anything. It means we go through it with grace, and we go through it with mercy, and we go through it when we get it all right and we celebrate, and we go through it when we get it all wrong and we celebrate too, because we can learn so much in the face of what we deem failure and what we deem a mistake. We learn in those times, and that's the most amazing thing to me about this recovery life and recovery lifestyle. So you guys know that I study deeply the law of attraction, because even though I watched The Secret a long time ago, I was one of those people that says this doesn't work. Even though I had done just what, they said to do. Okay. And so when it didn't work, I felt the need to dive deeper in it. So at all times, it's always working. And that's why our words and that's why our actions and our thoughts are so important, because It doesn't decide what you deem bad or good, negative or positive. It brings you what you think about the most and what you connect on an emotional level with. Okay? Good or bad. If you complain all the time, and we've all been there, I was a complainer deeply. It was the only way I knew how to have a conversation, right? Was to say how tough things were, to say how hard things were. That was the only way I knew how to relate to people. But because, of course, how you vibe is how you attract your tribe, right? So the people around you, that's probably, that was their mode of conversation as well. So we were all in like company. So, you don't often realize something's wrong when everything around you is proving to you that what you're talking about, thinking about, sorry guys, what you're talking about, thinking about, acting with, you're aligning with, and therefore it keeps coming back. So that's how we get stuck on these cycles, these things where years of our lives go by, and until something like addiction comes into your life to put you on the path of recovery so that you can then dive in deeper spiritually, you don't wake up to realize that, wow, this is far deeper than drugs, alcohol, substance, actions, habits, whatever. This goes far deeper than that. And if I ever want to be free of the wanting and the needing and the getting of these things, I got to go deeper too. And that scares a lot of people. It scared me. It scared me. So I know. And so it comes with that fixing, that I hate to even use the word fixing, because really there's nothing wrong, and fixing implies that something's broken in you, in us, and there's nothing broken in us, right? We are, in fact, some of the lucky ones, because we will get to awaken to a true abundant life if we choose to do the work. And we got to choose to do the work. And the work ain't easy. It ain't easy, y'all. It's not. It would be an outright lie for me to even tell you that it's easy. And I wouldn't want to do that to anyone, because that tends to get people to this certain place, and then they just say, I give up, man. I can't do this. And everybody can honestly do this. Even if you're sitting there feeling like you're the one that cannot do this. I know. I really do know, man. I thought that this was going to be it for me, that, I was never going to be able to abstain, because that was the model, the paradigm that I knew, that drugs, recovery was just about abstaining from my one coping skill. That's what I, understood. And I believe that a lot of folks understand it that way. And the more we come forth and we talk about deep healing, and we talk about going to the roots, and we talk about how deep this thing really goes, that it's not just going off and getting high and stealing stuff and hurting people and being absent from your kids and absent from your family. It's not just about that. So if there are families listening, I need you to hear that too. I need for you to hear that somebody's healing is not going to come because you put them in a different environment and you expect that they go to treatment once and it should work. And if it were that easy, I promise you, there's probably not a soul among me that would not jump on that. If it just took treatment one time, we'd all go, right? But it doesn't. And so I think there are two categories of people that need to hear that right now. So we've got to come away from the shame, the blame, and the guilt game, because that is not ever going to bring you to the place that you need and are longing to go, that you want to go. Because we think in active addiction, we've done far too much to bring ourselves into what we see as a successful life. But we've got to change our perception of success. We have to change our perception of ourselves. We have to change our perceptions of life in general. And we got to start. And we can't do it all at once. That's why it takes years and years and years. And we never truly become unlearning. I mean, a place where we know it all. We don't. So understand that you're never going to get there because there's not really a there to get to. Your whole purpose and goal is to cancel, clear, and delete the past that you have already experienced, be it trauma, be it the addiction, things that happen to you, the ways you've hurt yourself, the ways you've hurt your family. I mean, all these things. We've got to learn to cancel, clear, and delete those things. Not to say they didn't happen. Not to excuse anyone, because cancel, clear, and delete means become aware, forgive, and change. Become aware, forgive, change the behaviors, change the hurt, change the pain, change the words. And it takes work to do those things. And there's so many, they're 3 small words, but they come with so much weight. Many of us stay out in a cycle of active addiction because we get trapped in that, hey, Pam V, we get trapped in that cycle of the shame and the guilt, which just trips us up every time. Instead of cancel, clear, delete, it's like hit, guilt, trip on shame, and repeat. Hit, guilt, trip on shame, and just round and around and around we go. And we stay stuck on that for years and years. I stayed stuck on that 22 years of my life. Stayed stuck on that. And it came to having this work put in front of me and saying, this is your key. And like I said, when I tried to just consciously and cerebrally try to go at changing my life, but it really didn't change until I started changing it in here. And I'll tell you, I had a lot to be pissed off about. My perspective at the time, I thought I did. Anyone hearing it, the story would say, of course you had a right to feel this way and that way and this way and that way. And in all honesty, I had a right to destroy my body and my life. But I didn't necessarily have the right to destroy the lives and bodies of others. But see, that's that free will thing that comes in. We've got the right to do that, and you can stay justified in that for however long you want to. But understand that it is only creating more pain, and it is only making the cycle deeper. But no matter how deep that cycle is, we can come up out of that cycle when we get tired of being sick and damn tired, get tired of the same old crap happening all the time, doing the same old stuff. We get tired of that. I was down to my last, I had to make a decision. because I couldn't go on like that anymore. And, and I was still here. So I knew eventually I would be amongst my friends that didn't make it out. And so that's where I made the decision, either there or recovery. And if I'm going recovery, I'm going to have to go deeper than that mind shot I've been trying to give it. Oh, just stay clean. Oh, gosh, just stay clean. Just stay clean. Going through all the same old shit that I was using for. It's not going to work. But there is a key to freedom. And it comes when we start with understanding that our lives are so much deeper and more than what we see. So I started this telling you guys about this week. You know how I love the law of attraction. We've talked about that a little bit. I've studied it for years because it's deeper than the whole head knowledge, right? You can't just think about something and want it real bad and then just sit there and wait for it to come to you. it's just not going to happen. And then again, you're going to get in the thing, well, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Bye. There's no hope for me. Blah, and blah, and blah. And boom, pow, right back at the relapse. That's what we're trying to break today. We're trying to break that cycle. And if you think it's not as easy as it's fixing to be, you're wrong, because it is this easy. You can put things into play in your mindset today and begin to see changes in your life tomorrow. No hoax, but you got to be dedicated to do it. And you have to understand that you're not going to not go through some uncomfortableness. And you got to understand that no matter how uncomfortable something is, you don't have to go back to the old program, even though it tells you this sucks. We can't do this. I mean, you're going to have a battle in your mind that is going to be, look, battlefield of the mind. You are going to have a battlefield of the mind like you're fighting 5,000 enemies at once. But you got to just stop fighting and sit. Know that it's coming. Know that you control it and do the work. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Mary. So what do we got to do? We got to start taking control of our thoughts, because everything starts with that, right? Think of one thing that you did today that didn't originate here first, even if it was going to the bathroom. It had to go through here before it can go through here. So we know that. So this week, I've really been trying to focus in on my thoughts about work, my thoughts about, my mission, my dreams. I've been working on a lot of this stuff for a few years now. And I am really, really looking to do something special with my life, like all of you, like many of us are. We're all looking for our place where we can live in passion, where we can make a living and take care of our families while doing what we love. To me, that is what we're put here to do. I think it's the old paradigm that says we're supposed to hate what we work to do and just play around and do what we love. For me, that's not the case, and that's not my goal. My goal is to love what I do every single day and make a beautiful living, to take care of my family, to take care of my mom, her being a widow, to be able to inspire millions of people of the hope of recovery, to change negative mindsets and stigmas surrounding recovery, surrounding LGBTQ matters, surrounding homeless, everyone. I believe we all were born here with the distinct right to be who we are and operate from a place of people that know good and bad. And we know how to act, and we know how to be with one another. And we know what's happening now is wrong. That's why it makes us feel so uncomfortable. So today I've really been focusing my mind around walking in the purpose, in the vision, which is every single day I take at least one small step. I don't care for big and small. I take one step, at least one, every day towards the vision of my dreams, towards my life purpose. And so I've really been having to keep my mind flipped around to the positivity of this situation, because it's easy when you are in a position that is hard on you. And my job right now is very hard on me physically. It gets very emotionally hard because I get exhausted. And so my body starts to break down, and I don't really have the time to devote to all of you in the summers that I want to. So I can get frustrated about that. And I know that, law of attraction does not pick what's negative and what's positive. It gives you what you connect with. Basically, that's how you're asking. You can ask for whatever you want out of your mouth, But what you're aligning with internally, if you ask for money and yet you feel lack, you can't have the opposite. You get what you are connected to. So, it's not really money I've been asking for. It is an opportunity to take the next step, whatever that is, God's will, God's design, to take that next step. So I've had to keep my mind, my conversation, my heart placed in the visualization of that success and being grateful for what is already around me, even when everything is not lining up to make me feel necessarily grateful. I could go back to the default setting, the default program that says, I'm never going to get out of this. This sucks. These people don't pay us enough. This is blah, blah, blah. I mean, I can do all that. I can. But I have learned to become aware of how I am feeling. So I want to internally feel good, spiritually, physically, so that I can walk through my day in a way that I'm not struggling through anger, bitterness, lack of control, victimization. I don't want to walk through my day like that. When you walk through your day like that, which I used to do, when I walk through my day like that, everything's shitty. You know what I mean? Everything's bad. You trip over everything. And so I put a lot of practice into this. So when we're talking about, the first part of cancel, clear, and delete, we talk about cancel. So at first I got to be aware, okay, that I'm slipping off into that slope. I got to be aware that I'm slipping down off into that stinking thinking, that negative place. I got to be aware of that. And then I got to catch it. So I'm aware. I've caught it. I realize I caught one of those thoughts before it slipped through. And I'm like, okay, here's where I can start. And I begin to change that thought by asking myself the questions, does this thought make me feel better or worse? Does this thought get me closer to achieving my dream or further away? Does this thought produce a craving in me because it is bad and now I go to that place where I know that I get triggered? Or is it helping me go towards the opposite? What in this situation can I be grateful for? And I start picking out the things I can be grateful for in the moment that I catch that thought. So again, just start spouting out gratitude. I'm grateful for this job. Without this job, I wouldn't even have a house to live in. I'm grateful for this job because I get to work with my family every day. My two favorite women in my life, my mom and my wife. My little sister when she's able to come. My mom's best friend. There's so many blessings around it. I kind of get to make my schedule most months out of the year. I get to work and connect with some beautiful people. I get to spend my days in and amongst wealth so that helps me with that visualization. I get to work on an island that's full of God's creation, nature, beauty. There's so much. So there we are. We've canceled, we've cleared, we've deleted that negative thought, and we've replaced it now with that's really grateful. And the more that you go through that, the deeper you start connecting and feeling with that. And anybody in long-term recovery will tell you that gratitude will change your life. If you actually really get into a gratitude practice, it will change your life and your life will never be the same. And if you take just that first part and put that into play in your life today, you can begin tomorrow to see the world in a different way because you choose where you put your focus, where you put your awareness. You choose that. Not your circumstances, not your addiction, not your family, not your friends, not your wallet or your bank account, not your car. None of that stuff. You choose the thoughts you think, and in turn, the feelings that you feel. And you've got to understand, like we've all got to understand, that's our power. And trust me, I don't get it right every single day. You know, my wife and I, you guys know, we are at different places of recovery. We are at different places of awakening, spiritual, depth and all those things. And neither one is better or worse. We help each other all the time. We bring up so many different things. We study different things. We're able to help each other. But there are some things that I've done the work in that she's only now doing the work in. And sometimes I find myself getting to the place where I switch back quickly to that default programming, and I'll blame her for my mood. And then I have to come back and say, hey, I'm really sorry about that because I know better. So don't think that you're not going to have some times and places, especially when you first start really doing this work, that you're not going to have those moments. But don't be afraid to try to correct them. Correct those moments. Take that opportunity to humble yourself, and where it's safe to do, apologize for that. But apologize from a heart that says, I am working on that. Not from that abusive place that says, sorry, but I'm going to do it again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. And eventually you're going to stop buying my sorry. And then you're going to create an untrusting pattern in your life. And we're just going to go apart. We don't got time for that, y'all. This is a new day. We don't got time to waste all that time on old programming, on old cycles of belief. This is a new day, new dawn. Look, and so when we do that, we're able to then start to create some different integrity. Things that in active addiction, we don't even recognize, because addiction is a coping mechanism that does not allow you to think past your physical and mental and spiritual need. And that is to escape. Because whether you started using out of trauma or not, you have produced some trauma in your life. And now that you have the guilt and the shame, you want to escape. Nobody wants to sit and think about who they have become, what they have become. What's up, Stacey H? Nobody wants to do that. So we keep using the cycle. So now that you're doing the work every day, you are engaging in different perceptions of life and people, because we better understand that every person that presents something that really hurts us or bothers us, we are actually looking at a mirror of ourselves. Hey, Mom, we're actually looking at a mirror of ourselves. So that thing that bothers you in somebody else is actually God putting a mirror in front of your face for you to look and see, oh, I might have that going on in me. As much as I attempt every single day and still do to eradicate ego from my life, my wife is the best mirror. Like, I feel like I'm in boot camp so much because, we both will argue about things that just really make no sense. Don't make no sense. And I'm able to realize in the midst of that, oh, these are our two egos right now trying to destroy one another. And that's where we have to go to experience love, to experience unconditional love, to experience, that God rising up in us, that Christ consciousness. We've got to eradicate ego to the point where we are in control. We always want to keep a little bit of ego because that's our human side. And so ego can be used for good in a lot of ways. But for the most part, we've been letting ego drive the boat. We've been letting ego fly the ship. And that's why we're all so offensive. Our feelings sit on our sleeves. We don't have friendships with people that disagree with us. We have come to believe through organized religion that everyone has to believe the same as we do, or else we cannot be friends, or else we cannot speak. And if you don't agree with me, now we must get violent and fight and throw shame and words. And all this stuff is this world that we're living in at this point. You, me, as the recovery community, I believe we're here to help shift this around. I think there's just no coincidence, God's way of remaining anonymous, coincidence. So it's worth us to do this work. And when you are pulled to this place, especially to hang out with me and many others, and to dive into different personal development and different techniques and skills to try to continue to grow yourself, that's that inside of you. That is, that spiritual inside of you pulling you forward to become the best version of yourself. So now that we are, again, becoming aware of thoughts, we're switching them around, we're finding gratitude, we are creating now what's called integrity. And I know it was very foreign to me, and I'm still building it. I think it's something we build always. But now that we got integrity, we've got to align our actions with that integrity. That's how we know where we're going in life. People say, well, how do I find my purpose? How do I know where I'm going in life? Align your actions with your integrity. And you can't help but run into your purpose, because integrity is that thing that is also, to me, connected with, that heart, that still small voice, that intuition. That's what's guiding and pulling you towards you, the best version of you, and your purpose is all wrapped up in there, all wrapped up. There's not a label you're looking for, so you can say, oh, I am a motivational speaker, because that is not what you are. It is a purpose that a gift that you may get to give, but who you are is the divine essence of God breathed into life on this earth. That's what all of us are. We are expressions of God. And so we have to walk in that new integrity that we're building. And there we are in our integrity. And we're getting to know this new us, this new self. And please understand that the old self, your old self, is going to fight you tooth and nail to hang on, because that's how it's designed. Your brain is designed to keep you comfortable. Comfortable in the mind's language does not mean warm and fuzzy blanket and all that. No, that's not what it means. It means the same. It means very much so that you know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. Because if you don't change all that complaining, you can best believe that tomorrow's going to get up as crappy as today was. And the brain says, okay, we're safe. We're good. This is good. This is good. We know this. But just as you were not born that way, and through life you trained your brain to be there, you can now change your brain to know that comfort comes in waking up grateful for the day, grateful that your heart is beating inside of your chest without any help from you, that you get to be in recovery today. You get to smile at someone today. You get to hold your child today. You get to, think of your children, your life today. You get to be a beautiful person on the earth. You get to live life. And when we start making that our default setting, we don't have to work so hard to get up and be there every day. So once we've canceled, cleared, and deleted, we've built our integrity. We're walking and we're being led towards our purpose, God's divine purpose for us on the earth. Now we got to start visualizing in our thoughts, our words, our deeds, our everything, visualizing who it is we want to become, visualizing the success in our lives. Visualizing is so easy. You're doing it all the time. As a kid, you were automatically downloaded with a program called imagination. And you could make yourself be anywhere and anyone at any time, doing whatever you wanted to do. If it was climbing a pink tree while riding on a blue elephant, you could picture it. And as we have gone and started building programs and adopted the programs of those around us, built our own, as we've done this, now we look at life very different. And we think we no longer have an imagination because we've killed it with drugs. We've killed it with alcohol. We've killed it with, head injuries and all these things. And it's just not true. We've just got to clean it up and uncover it. And this work begins to do that. This work begins to do that for you. You start being able to see yourself being different, achieving that recovery, picturing that situation where you run into those old people that you used to hang around and get high with. You run into those same people and you picture how you are going to handle that situation. You rehearse it so many times in your mind that when it happens, you don't even think about it. It's automatic. And it will take a while. But when you do all these things together and you really put some feeling into that visualization of what your life was meant to be, is meant to be, versus all that we're used to seeing. Listen, I did not used to think that my words made all that big a difference either. But your words are your prophecy. So when somebody asks you how you're doing and you say, well, I'm broke, I'm overworked, and I'm underpaid, as cute as it is to say, is that really what you want? Is that really who you are? Because the more you say it, the more you got to see it. So when somebody says to you, how's your recovery going? What do you say? I'm blessed to be alive today. And I am working towards, becoming the best version of myself. There are some things that have been trying to get at me lately that I've really been working through. Even say what those things are. If you're talking to your sponsor, if you're talking to a mentor, if you're talking to a good friend that's got some clean time, you can say what those things are. But don't make them personal to you. Watch the always language. This always happens to me on day 30. This always happens to me when I get a week clean. I always go back. I always run into this. Stop saying all that. Say I've run into this issue right here. I've seen it before, but I don't want to see it again. How have you dealt with this? How have you handled this? We must humble ourselves to find people that have what it is that we are hoping, that we want and are working towards accomplishing, achieving, and be humble enough to ask, why? How? And mirror that. And even if it's virtual mentors. I've said that to y'all a lot, man. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of, buy a lot of audio books and I listen to a lot of things. And I really, because when those kind of people are not yet in your space, in your life, you don't know how to go out and find them. So start getting the alignment and vibration of them, even though it's through virtual. And then you will be amazed at how you yourself start vibrating and moving and speaking in those ways. And then other people start coming into your physical world like that. I can attest to that. I have made some of the most amazing connections with the most beautiful people just in the last 2 years. And in this last year, man, I mean, it's just like, because I wasn't ready to be with other people at that time. I had not gotten enough of this work yet to not get attracted. And I did a couple times. I attracted a few people that I thought were, what I needed, what I was looking for. In fact, they were just a direct representation of me at the time, meaning I was kind of there, but not really. And I had to learn those lessons. I had to get used. I had to go all out. I had to have the scales tip. I had to, I had to get hurt. I had to get lied to. I had to get deceived. I had to get controlled, abused, all that stuff. And then I realized, okay, so obviously I'm still vibrating at that level. I got to fix that. And then I said, God, your will be done. I will draw closer to you, and I trust that you will bring me the people that I am, needing to connect with. And sure enough, when the time was right, absolutely, man, absolutely. I'm honored and grateful to know the people that I know today. A lot of you, I'm just blown away, blown away. But again, it's about doing the work. And we got to not be scared to do the work. We can't be scared to be uncomfortable. We can't just relax into these old limited belief systems anymore, especially if we want to live the recovery life that is really designed for us. And you deserve to live that life. So do I. And I didn't always believe that. I believed that I had been abused. I was different. I would never be able to operate at who I truly was. I would always have to deny myself self-love. I would always have to deny myself certain things that I dreamed of in life. I would always be a second-class rate citizen. Was always going to be just poor, barely getting by because I had made mistakes and had felonies. All that same old junk. I ruined my life. I did all this. I messed up my opportunities. Just done. So I've done this work, man. I've climbed this mountain. I'm still on it with you. I pray that you come here and show up here and hear something that sounds like you, that you can resonate with, and something that you can now take out into your life and put into practice and really see that you have the ability to change any and everything that you want to change in your life, no matter where you've been. That you are actually truly blessed to have gone through addiction, because you have a leg up on this whole awakening thing. Some people will never understand what it's like to go to the places you've gone to see the things and the people you've seen. You have a heart now that can connect with the least of these. That's a gift. And you got to start recognizing your life as a gift, even before it feels like that or shows up like that. Connect with that now, and then it has to show up like that. Has to. All right. I hope that this has been a good a good afternoon, a good Sunday service with me, LC. I'm so grateful for all of you. I know on StreamYard I can't see everybody or see everybody's comment, or maybe I am seeing everybody. And, I adore you all. It doesn't matter to me if 1 or 1 million show up here. That's the honest truth, because if I can give a message that one person takes out into the world, changes their own lives, and then they change more lives, then guess what? Job well done. Well done. But I really appreciate all of you. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. You guys know that. You know that from my heart. Listen, some housekeeping. So my interview with Martin John Garcia on the Recover Yourself podcast dropped live today. It's on YouTube, Recover Yourself. It's on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, all of the big, all of the major podcast platforms. It's called Recover Yourself with Martin John Garcia. I'm very honored to have gotten to do that. He's one of the connections I've made. Just a brilliant, brilliant human being. So accepting, so loving, so talented, amazing. He is amazing. I want you to know that the Recovery Soul Food podcast is up and running, and you can catch all the video episodes we've done this far over on the Recovery Soul Food YouTube channel. We got so many more to come. Oh gosh, I've got Hunter Michael Shepherd coming up, man. Oh, love that guy. We got so much coming. Anthony Brown's going to come back with us, the author of From Park Bench to Park Avenue, who just finished his national debut with Dr. Drew Pinsky on Dr. Drew's podcast. So, God's doing huge things in Anthony Brown's life, and I'm so grateful for that. He's got a beautiful mission. The Sober Experiment ladies, they are amazing as well. Jen Elizabeth, you all know her, Shape of a Woman. Beautiful human being book. Anthony McCauley, Kicking It with the Coaches, every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's my friend, my brother. Just another connection that God has made in my life that, is just so beautiful, man. I've got so many amazing friends. I'm going to have my good friend Barry Goodwin come on the show as well in a few weeks. Man, we've got so much ready for all of you. I want you to know that the Recovery Soul Food podcast and even this episode of Recovery Sunday Service is brought to you by our amazing friends at shoprecoverystuff.com. Marty and Mark McLeod are beautiful, amazing human beings that are so supportive in our community that so much of it you don't even see. You see them very rarely, but let me tell you, there's a lot of us that you do see that is because of them. So if you want to rock your recovery out loud and you want the most amazing, most stylish, the latest recovery apparel, gifts, jewelry, cards, they've got so much, and they're beautiful human beings with an amazing, amazing mission and message. Hit them up. shoprecoverystuff.com. That's Marty McLeod. You guys know her. We all love her. To our good friend Bradley Bagwell, who could not be here today with us, we love you. We're supporting you. And for all of you, if you're in new recovery, you got to get yourself connected to some resources. Get in with some folks that have that time, that have that thing that you want to have. Recognize that, all right? Get with some resources. Immerse yourself in everything different. Change everything so everything can change. And now I want you guys to get out of here. Go have the most amazing Soul Food Sunday of your entire life because you choose to. And I want to say a special shout out to my little nephew, Chase the man. I love you, Chase. Uncle Larry loves you. I love you so much, Mom and Recovery family. You guys have the most outstanding day ever. I love you.